Pandemic have access to nearly $1 billion in federal relief. While tens of thousands of renters and landlords have received that help, Channel 2 investigative reporter Ashley Lincoln has received calls and emails from dozens of Channel 2 viewers who say they waited for months for help and fear they will be homeless without this assistance. Ashley.
Yeah, Candace, a long wait for these renters. The state tells me it should take about 30 days for renters and landlords applying for this critical aid to hear from the state. But Georgians tell me they've been waiting months to learn they're denied with no explanation.
It keeps me up at night. I can't sleep.
Jaylon O'Duncanseller says she feels like she's living in a nightmare.
I feel like I'm really trapped.
Owing thousands in back rent to her landlord for this East Atlanta home.
At this point, I've done everything I know to do. You can't pay something that you don't have. I do not have $23,000.
O'Duncanseller and her partner unable to keep up with the bills and rising rent as restaurant workers during the pandemic. Tell us in December 2021, they filed for rental assistance through Georgia's Department of Community Affairs.
We fell behind on rent, but we kept utilities up to date.
But 6 months later, her application was denied with no explanation.
Crickets, nothing, no response.
I thought it was all by myself.
Nicole Hart, an independent landlord, says she wasn't notified about the status of her application until a year after applying. She too was denied.
I have no communication whatsoever.
Hart decided to rent out her basement during the pandemic, unable to keep her family's catering business going amid COVID lockdowns.
Times was getting rough.
After a tenant contracted COVID, he struggled keeping up with the rent.
He would try to work again, but he's having symptoms of long COVID.
We definitely received a huge demand.
Tanya Curry, Deputy Commissioner for Housing at the Georgia Department of Community Affairs, says the state is working around the clock to get nearly $1 billion in federal COVID relief funds in the hands of Georgians.
There was a huge demand, and that demand is ongoing.
Of the $989 million in federal funds given to the state, including money for COVID and non-COVID hardships, more than $600 million has been awarded to tens of thousands Georgia renters and landlords.
It's pretty easy for people to say, well, I didn't get rental assistance, or I wasn't helped, or this type of thing. But close to 600 million has gone out the door.
Curry tells me the online portal is the best way for applicants to get in touch with the state.
And they have the ability to communicate back with the program via the portal to get a status.
But dozens of applicants like O'Duncanseller and Hart reached out to Channel 2 after not hearing anything from the state's online portal for months.
We get dozens of calls every day throughout our offices.
Lindsay Siegel, an attorney with Legal Aid of Atlanta, says they're helping renters across the metro area navigate the application process for several rental assistance programs.
We sometimes see situations where tenants are denied with no explanation.
The state says of the 135,205 applications received, approximately 60% of those applicants were denied.
The funds are there for us.
Pay the people. Pay the people. They need help.
And after our interview with the state, we sent them information on the renters and landlords we've been in contact with. Now, the state said they will be reviewing their cases. They did reopen O'Duncanseller's case after we've started asking them questions about the situation.
Yeah, and Ashley, you've had a lot of people reaching out to you asking for help. Is there a place, any resources where they can turn to actually get help applying for these programs?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of resources out there. The state sent us a list of places where people can go to get help. We, of course, will have all of that information on our website at WSBTV.com.
And the timeliness of all this, obviously, that's the critical part. People, so they don't fall behind on their rent.
Yeah.
Ashley, thank you.